Today, like in a previous video, we deal with long division of polynomial 2, 3, 2, 1, and the rest. So today we'll be considering long division of polynomial 3. And this is, we're going to be solving these examples on the board here. Now, the first example we have here is 12x cubed minus 11x squared plus this. Now, this is what we have, right? So the next thing I taught you in the previous video, the same way we do this one also. Now, let's have it down. Now this particular one now, we start with the long division method we normally do. Now we put the divisor outside, that is plus 3. And then the dividend, we put it inside, that is 12x cubed minus 11x squared plus what? 9x, and then what? Plus 18. So remember the previous time I told you you go through our previous video in case if you we may find this one on the board difficult, so you go to polynomial 1, 2, that is long division on it. So when you go to it now, you're going to find two examples on each of them, and that will help you to move on to this polynomial 3. So in case you've not watched our polynomial 1, 2, please do well to go and watch it before watching this one. So this one now, we continue with the long division we always do now. Now the first thing I said you do now is to pick the first term here, right? The first term here, now let's pick the first one. The first one here will have it to be, this is 12x cubed, right? So next thing is to divide your 12x cubed by 4x over here. So when you divide your 12x cubed by 4x, we'll be left with, we'll have, okay, let's have this here. So now when we divide 12x cubed by 4x over here, now 12 divided by 4 is what? 3. Now x cubed, now this is x, right? X takes one of the x. Now we're going to have just x squared over here. Okay, so we'll now multiply this x 3x squared by everything down here. So if we multiply this 3x squared by 4x here, we'll be left with 12x cubed, right? So now if we multiply this 3x up here again by 3 down here, so we'll be left with just now 3 times 3 is going to give us what? Plus 9. Plus 9 what? X squared, right? So from here we'll subtract. Now once we're subtracting like this, now 12x cube cancel 12x cube, right? So now we have that this minus over here changes this plus over here to be what? Minus. Okay, now this now minus 11x squared minus 9x. Now minus 11 minus 9 is going to give us what? Minus what? 20x what? Squared. Okay, so next is, now I told you the next thing now is to bring down the next term. Now the next term is what? Plus 9x. So this is what? Plus 9 what? Let's write it well. This plus 9x. Okay, so having this, now we'll do the same thing. Now you pick your minus 20x squared here. Now you divide it by 4. Now you're going to have a minus what? 5x, just minus 5x, because x over here cancel this x, one of the x, right? So next is to do what? This minus 5x over here, you multiply it by 4x here. Once you multiply it, you're going to be having just minus 20 what? X squared, right? So next is to pick up that minus 5x again, multiply it by 3 over here. Now 5 times 3 is going to give you what? 15. That is what? Minus 15 what? X. Okay, we do the same thing again. We subtract. So once we're subtracting, minus 20x cancel minus 20x squared, right? So next thing is this minus over here now changes this minus here. This minus over here changes this minus here to be what? Plus. So this what? 15x plus what? 9x over here. So 15 plus 9, we're going to get in what? 24x, right? So that's 15, that is 19, 24, right? So this is 24x. So next again is to bring down what you have, that is the next term. The next term here is what? Plus what? 18, right? So let's put it there. This is now plus 18. So once you have this, you do the same thing. Minus 20, you pick your 24x divided by 4 over here. Now 24 divided by 4 is simply what? Just 6, right? That is plus 6, because x cancel x. So you now multiply this 6 over here again by 4x here. So we'll be having 6 times 4 is going to give us what? 24. Then you add the word x, right? So next is what? This 6 again, multiply 3 here. 6 times 3 is going to give us what? 18, right? So this is 18. So this is now plus 18, okay? So next is to subtract again the way we normally do. So now subtracting this, I said that this is now 24x cancel 24x. Now this minus over here changes this plus to be what? Minus. So this is just like 18 minus 18 now is equal to 0. So now our answer totally is not going to be what? 0. Okay. So that is to say that what? This particular let's have that this particular root here divided this question over here completely. That is why we got it to be what? Equal to 0. So in this case, remember we normally pick our 1, we normally pick our what? 2, and then our what? 3. But in this case, since it divided completely, the only thing we needed is our 1 only. So the answer to this question now is what? 3x squared, yes, minus 5x, and then plus 6. That's all, and this is the answer to the question, right? So since our 2 is 0, so no need of putting 2, so we'll just pick the first one. Number 1 is the final answer to the question. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. That is number 2 over here. Now the second question, now if you look at this question, you notice that this is power 3, next is power 1. There is nothing like power 2, and I told you something the last time we did, that is in the previous video. So in the previous video we did something concerning. Now in this case, now we need to put what? Plus what? 0x what? Squared. Okay, now let's put it there. Let's write the question. The question now is what? 3x cubed plus what? 0x squared plus 4x minus what? Plus 11. Okay, so this is what we have. Then all over. Now the denominator is correct, okay, because the power is just single, this 2, and then reduced to what? 1. So we won't touch the denominator. Now we'll have it to be what? This now x squared minus 3x and then what? Plus 2. So this is now ready to be divided. So when we have this, now the easiest thing to do again is just to put down the normal the way we normally divide it. That is x squared minus 3x and then what? Plus 2, right? This plus here. Write it well. This plus. So now that is the divisor outside. Then the dividend should be inside. The dividend now is what? 3x cubed plus 0x squared. Then plus we have 4x. And the last one is plus what? 11. So this is exactly what we should have, right? So let's divide. We pick the first term here. That is 3x cubed divided by x squared over here. Now you find that x squared takes 2 of the x in the 3x. Now we're going to just have what? 3x only left, because supposed to be 3x maybe something, but this x squared here, remove 2 from this 3 over here, and that is what we're just left with, was single 1. So that's just the normal logic, right? So after this, now you multiply this 3 up here by everything down here. So if you multiply 3x by x squared over here, we'll still get our what? 3x cubed. Okay, next to multiply this 3x by minus 3x. Now what do you have? 3 times 3 is 9, but make sure it is now minus, right? 3 times 3 is what? 9, then x what? Squared. So after this, now you have your minus, you have your 3x again, multiply 2 over here. Now 3 times 2 is what? 6. That is plus 6 what? X. Rule your line again, you subtract. Now in subtracting, like we earlier said, you cancel out these ones. Now this one, this minus over here, right, changes this minus here to your plus. That is now 9x squared plus 0x squared. That is same as what? 9x what? Squared. Okay, that's all. So this minus over here changes this plus here to be what? Minus. Okay, that is what? Plus 4x minus 6x is going to give us what? Minus what? 2x. Okay, plus 4 minus 6. Yes, plus 4 minus 6 is going to give us minus 2x. So next, now I told you like earlier, is to bring down the next term here, and the next term over here is what? Plus 11. Okay, and that's the last term over here. So this is plus 11. Now let's go with it. Now we'll pick the first term here. This is 9x squared. Now you find out that this x squared cancels the x squared immediately, and then we're having just what? Plus 9 alone, right? So from here we have that if we divide this, if we multiply this 9 by x squared over here, we'll be having this to be what? 9x squared. Okay, next is what? 9 over here, multiply minus 3 here. Now 9 times 3, this minus already. 9 times 3 is going to give you us, it's going to give us 27, right? 27x. Okay, so this is now 9 over here, multiply 2 over here. What we're going to be having, that is 9 times 2 is what? 18. That is plus 18, right? So that is it, and then we subtract. Now subtracting this, like I said earlier, 9x squared cancel 9x squared. Now this minus over here changes this minus here to be what? Plus. So this is just like minus 2x. Okay, minus 2x plus 27 is going to give us 25x, right? It's going to give us 25x. The next is this minus over here again, changes this plus over here to be what? Minus. So plus 11 minus 18 is going to give us what? Minus 7. Okay, so we're done with this. So having this now, the next thing is to know your 1, 2, 3. I already said it. You know your 1. We have our 2 here, and then we have our what? This now 3, right? So let's replace it now. Our 1 is the answer. That is what? 3x. This is a 3x plus 9. Then plus our 2 now. That is a 25x minus 7 all over. Our 3 now is what? X squared minus what? 3x then plus what? 2. And this is the final answer to the question. Now, thank you viewers for watching my video. This Extreme Learning website. Do feel free to subscribe. See you in our next video. Thank you.